You picture a caveman, and one image probably shows up. Hunched over, freezing, running from a saber-toothed tiger, exhausted, starving, barely surviving until nightfall. Now forget that image completely, because it's almost entirely wrong. Anthropologist Marshall Solins studied hunter-gatherer societies still living traditionally in the 20th century, and what he found broke every assumption. These weren't people scraping by. He called them, seriously, the original affluent society. Wait, affluent? People with no houses, no stores, no refrigerators? Here's the number that changes everything. Studies of groups like the Jew Huansi in southern Africa found they spent around 15 to 20 hours a week finding food. 15 hours, that's less than half of a modern work week. So what did they do with the rest of their time? They rested, they socialized, they told stories for hours. Anthropologist Richard Lee tracked this directly in the field and found adults often had more leisure time than people in industrial societies today. That doesn't mean life was easy. Danger was real. Disease had no cure. Childhood mortality was brutal. But the daily grind, the non-stop labor we imagine, that part is a myth. So where did the exhausted, starving caveman image even come from? Some of it traces back to early researchers who studied struggling farming societies, then applied those findings backward onto hunter-gatherers, who lived completely differently. Farming, it turns out, was the harder lifestyle. Constant planting, harvesting, and worrying about failed crops. Hunter-gatherers who found enough food for the week could simply stop. Think about that. Working just enough, then walking away. Their days weren't built around 8-hour shifts and deadlines. They followed the rhythm of the land. Hunt when there's game. Gather when there's fruit. Rest when there isn't. Their calendars weren't measured in weeks. They were measured in seasons. So why does the brutal caveman image still dominate our imagination? Because it's convenient. It makes modern civilization look like an obvious upgrade. Constant progress. Constant improvement. But some anthropologists argue we didn't just gain comfort along the way. We may have also lost something. Slower mornings, longer conversations, time that belonged to no one but yourself. Here's the twist that's hardest to sit with. For most of human history, people worked less than you do right now. Not because they were lazy, because they'd built a life that didn't demand more. So the next time you imagine a caveman, hunched, starving, running for his life, picture something else instead. A person resting in the shade at midday, in no hurry at all, with the entire afternoon still ahead of him. Maybe he wasn't surviving the world. Maybe for a little while, he was simply living in it.